Well, it's Tuesday, and we've got a lineup, a good one, too, for you folks, featuring on today's program as we continue to reflect on good times from the show. We'll hear from our very first fitness expert who spent years bringing us fun workouts, groovy music, and the love and passion of exercise. Chyvonne Emile Bray will be with us shortly. And Amanda Shekarchi sends us off into the summer with songs of the season. We get the countdown started in just a moment.
This is Kelly and Company.
Kelly MacDonald here on our Tuesday edition of Kelly and Company. Remember, Parasport Nation coming up after our show. And Nizreen Abdel-Majid joining me at the moment. Well, Niz, welcome. Welcome to Tuesday as we have 4 more shows, including this one, to go.
I know it's a crazy ride. We're already past Monday. It's Tuesday, and it feels strange that there's only 4 more days left.
Yeah,
3 more days.
It really does. I mean, lots of great conversation, lots of walks down memory lane. But I know from my theater life, as soon as the show's done, boom. What do I do next? It's quite a fall. So everybody's got to be ready for that. So some of the things our contributors have been doing is rounding up some of the things they've talked about over the 8.5 years and kind of doing a summation. So we're going to do that with independent living today as we welcome in a conversation we had the other day, Leanne Baarda.
Leanne Baarda is our independent living skills specialist who joins us once a month. We've had years of conversations covered everything from kitchen safety to cleaning out our garages. And today, for our final chat on Kelly and Company, she's here with an Ask a Rehab Specialist wrap-up, kind of like the FAQ of ILS. So, Leanne, first question, what is a vision rehab therapist? What can they do to enhance my daily living skills?
Yeah. So basically, we are the people that come in and we teach you everything you need to do in your day from the time you get up till the time you go to bed. And we are certified vision rehab therapists, and we are highly specialized vision rehab experts who specialize in working with people who are blind, low vision, or who have functional visual limitations. So our job is basically to empower clients to achieve their maximum life goals for education, employment, personal safety, and independence. So basically, we're jacks of all trades.
Okay. So then when we look at things that way, and there's a whole gambit and circumstances, situations, things that you guys have to keep yourself ready to jump into and work with people, even just keeping track from people to people. Now, let's look at an organizational level. What's the difference between VLRC and CNIB Foundation?
This is probably a question I get on a pretty regular basis, if not daily, from clients who don't quite understand the difference between what CNIB Foundation provides and what VLRC provides. So essentially, VLRC provides rehab services to Canadians with vision loss, helping them to develop and restore key daily living skills. And we enhance safety, independence, and mobility. We offer a range of programs and services, including rehab therapy, healthcare services, assistance with daily living, and we are the leading provider of vision loss therapy in Canada. And we have vision rehab therapists, orientation and mobility specialists, low vision therapists, as well as assistive tech. And the only place VLRC isn't present is in Quebec. They have Institut Nazareth Louis Braille and MAB Mackay Lethbridge, who provide those same vision rehab services.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
It's interesting, too, because when you started with CNIB, you were CNIB. It was all under the same umbrella. Over this time period, for those who have been clients over the years, for staff, does this make a big difference? I mean, on a corporate level, I understand that portion, but when it comes to clients kind of getting where their services are better, some would say it was better just to pick up the phone, call CNIB, and let them direct me. But I also feel there's probably a different feel, a different way of looking at things and different aspirations, new staff, and especially people who have never been involved with the organization as clients before.
Exactly. So before we became VLRC, people had to rely on a charity for vision rehab. And, ordinarily, like if you had a stroke, you went to this hospital. If you had a heart attack, you went for rehab at this particular place. But if you had vision loss, it was like, oh well. You had to go rely on a charity And so we lobbied the government, and we are now under the healthcare continuum. So that means we have our funding from healthcare. So that is the main difference now. So anything to do
that
with
allows a
rehab,
dependability, right, as opposed to charitable, generous dollars. That is incredible.
Exactly. Yeah. So anything to do with if you need vision rehab, anything with instruction comes to us. Everything else goes to CNIB Foundation. So on that note, CNIB Foundation, of course, we know they're a nonprofit organization. They provide a wide range of programs and services to Canadians who are blind or partially sighted, to their families, friends, and caregivers. Their work focuses on empowering people with sight loss to live their dreams through various initiatives, including career support, tech training, youth programs, community events, and dog guide training programs. So those are the main differences.
Leanne, what can I do to make it safer for me to work in the kitchen as someone who is low vision or blind?
Right. So this is something, Kelly and I have spoken about for years on and off, and it seems to permeate a lot of our conversations because it's such an important thing for us to deal with.
Food. We're just so food oriented.
Food. We are. So inevitably safety comes up. So one of the main things that I do pretty regularly is marking people's appliances with tactile or high contrast stickers, so you can find your controls and set them safely. So I would say for the microwave, always marking the express 1 minute or the express 30 seconds, stop clear. That way you can find things quickly and easily without having to search around on those flat panels. Same with the stove or the oven, marking bake and the up arrow and the cancel, setting the dials to medium, all these different things, to make life a little bit easier and one less thing to worry about, because you can reliably and safely set the controls on your different appliances.
I was going to say, sorry to interrupt you. I was going to ask you quickly about the bake temperature or in the oven. How would you change that? How would you know? So
a lot of the new digital ovens, the easiest way to do is when we set bake and we put one on the up arrow. Yeah. As soon as you hit the up arrow one time, the default is 350. So some ovens beep, but some don't. So every time you press it, it goes up or down 5 degrees. So you have to kind of count it out. Yeah. And if you're off by 5 degrees, it's not going to be catastrophic, but that is probably the safest and easiest way to set your controls.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I always struggle with using gloves. I've said this to you before, or the oven mitts, just because I just don't trust. I can't get my head to say, you know what, you're safer, obviously, in case of an incident, an accident, backing your hand against something. But it's that, but what if, because I can't feel well enough, I drop it or knock the pot over or something? That's a hard thing to get around your head. And I'm sure for newer clients, for people with vision loss, really hard to trust yourself.
Yeah, well, I have people trying to use tea towels and pot holders and all kinds of crazy things. One of my number one recommendations is oven gloves. So it gives you the dexterity in your fingers so you don't feel like you have lobster hands. And it also has grips in it. So you can get ones that are longer, sort of like barbecue gloves, so that your arms are protected as well. So Kelly, if you're worried about oven mitts, ditch the mitts, go for the gloves. Yeah, I think so. Gloves, and it's funny you say that, because as a kid, that's what I always felt more comfortable with is gloves as opposed to mitts, to have that control. Leanne, do you want to talk a little bit about how a CVRT can help me get a little more organized? Yeah, so to get more organized, we use a combination of Braille, large print, audio labels for files, jars, cans, drawers. It's just you want to make your life a lot easier to locate things. So if you have things labeled, you're going to find things 10 times faster. You want to kind of keep things in the same place, so every time you use it, it goes back in the same place. And tell your loved ones and caregivers in your life the same thing, because the biggest frustration that I hear is that people put something down and they knew where it was, and a well-meaning person was like, "Oh, I'll just put it back on their dresser," and for that person, it may as well be gone. Yeah. So every time I go and I'm talking to family and caregivers, that's the first thing I tell them.
What a hard thing for people to stop doing, because this is what they've done. They walk in a room and their eyes fall upon, even when we read books, they'll say, I strolled into the room, my eyes fell on my whatever. It's such a way of just functioning, that to tell someone that you have to remember, go back, put it back there, because Fred can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you don't want to sound like a jerk by saying, I'll put it back where you found it, exactly where you found it.
Yeah. And it's so easy, because if someone tells you, you're going to say, sure, I will. I understand. I'm not dumb. I understand they can't see to find it, as they're putting it wherever they set it down.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So even like for yourself, like, when you come in the door, you have all these things in your pocket. So I always tell people to keep a basket at the door. So your wallet goes in there, your keys, your phone, whatever's in your pockets at the end of the day, it goes back in that basket. And then, when you're on your way out the door, you can take those things back out of the basket, put them back in your pockets, in your purse or your bag, and away you go.
Okay. So let's talk home and personal management. What can CVRTs teach to manage better in the home and deal with personal care?
Oh my goodness, so many things. Okay, so we teach a lot of alternative ways to tell time. So talking clocks, talking keychains. That's actually, the talking keychain is one of the first things we give people when we meet them for the first time in hospital or rehab centers, for those who have just lost their vision very quickly and dramatically. And that is the first step for them to regain that independence, so they can have, the time, so they can get a little bit more control of having to ask all the time from someone else. So that little talking keychain is always our little gateway to, the next level skills. Shaving and makeup application. Even though I wear no makeup at all ever, I still have to know how to teach it. And let me tell you, that was an interesting thing to learn at school. I have to teach men how to shave, and it's always an adventure. Medication management, using pill boxes, blister packs, labeling medication. So like on the pill bottles with a Sharpie, writing the initials of the letter of the pills in large print, or putting an elastic around one and leaving the other one empty so the person knows the difference. This is where a handy dandy tray comes in handy. So we can always put the tray down, you put your cereal bowl, and then as you're popping your medication out of your blister pack, it'll go into the bowl. And then, by some miracle, it jumps out of the bowl, the tray will catch it. So you always know that your pills are going to be taken. So.
Excellent.
I struggle with the pill box. Yeah, I struggle with the pill box.
Well, the blisters,
one
right?
always has to drop. Yeah.
Yep. So put your cafeteria style tray down and put your cereal bowl and pop it into the bowl. And then you're good to go.
We have about a minute. Want to tell us what other things that CVRTs can teach me?
Yep. So money organization and identification. So identifying coins and bills, organizing your wallet, laundry skills, treating stains, organizing outfits, cleaning skills, using the grid pattern search, eating skills. So this is a big one for our seniors, using the clock face method to describe what's on the plate, using some sort of bumper or plate guard so the food doesn't fall off the plate, dining out skills, self-advocacy, braille, technology, and reading and writing alternatives like talking books, signature guides, and writing guides. So
awesome.
Like I said, everything from the time you get up till the time you go to bed, think about all the skills that you need to function in your day. And that is what we do. And we're happy to do it.
And we've talked about so much of that over the years you've been on the show.
Yeah,
exactly. So I hope that, after hearing this, your viewers, if they need these skills and they're struggling a little bit, that they don't hesitate to reach out, because we are more than happy to help.
Of course. Leanne, thank you so much for your chats. We've immensely enjoyed them, and we'll miss our monthly visits with you. We're so glad to have you working with the community. Your creative and encouraging spirit is so welcome and helpful. And of course, they'll reach out, no doubt, and we'll keep in touch.
Thank you, guys. It's been a blast.
Thanks, Leanne. It's been lots of fun. Appreciate it. And the community out there, Toronto area, very lucky to have you and your coworkers doing what you do, because there's a lot. It's an immense job, but boy, what a rewarding job, as we've learned here having you on the show. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Fantastic stuff, as she also, Nisreen, mentions to us where to go. Like, I think that's one of the most important things, sorting out the CNIB structure a little bit during that chat and making sure people know where to go to get more information and to get that help that so many family members and people new to blindness and young people or anyone at any time, change of life, change of vision, might need.
No, all of that information was absolutely amazing, and it really woke me up in terms of getting that support, getting those resources, because you often just forget, or you feel lazy about it, or you feel like you really don't need those extra resources and that support from other people. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
No, it's interesting because we had this sort of same kind of mention with Mark Rankin, right? That I have pride. We all have pride. We don't need help across the street when it comes to moving. Oh, I can figure out how to make my own, Chef Boyardee, like whatever it might be. But hold on, this is new to you, the experience of wandering around this kitchen or doing your bed with making it up without sight. Or as much as you had, there's no problem reaching out the hand.
You
and saying,
really
hey,
remember.
give me a little help.
Exactly. You really remember the little things when we spoke with her. I remembered the struggles of the kitchen, the oven screen. It was not accessible to me at all.
Kitchen and mobility are the most important things, right? You want to be able to get your stuff to work at home, to feed yourself, or just get away from those four walls.
Exactly. It is it's a scary thing, and it really is not motivating myself to cook more when it's not accessible, obviously. I'd
also like to welcome in Amanda Shekarchi joining us on the program for a conversation we're going to have here with her on music of the summer. Amanda, welcome back. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. Bittersweet because it's the final segment.
Indeed.
I know.
I want to play a message that came into us, ladies. A very special message from our first ever fitness contributor on the show. And again, this would be in studio when she visited with us, to Christmas party appearances and at home workout classes. She went above and beyond to keep us working out, keep us realizing, ladies, and I think you'll both agree, next to being able to manage around your home and cook and get out and travel with mobility, fitness, very important. Here's Chyvonne Emile.
Hi there, this is Chyvonne, and I used to be the fitness contributor for Kelly and Company. When the theme music would begin to announce the start of the show, I used to feel so proud. I used to get so, I want to say emotional, because I was so glad to be a part of this wonderful show, this wonderful experience. Kelly and Ramia's chemistry is so infectious that it makes you want to do your very, very best. That just makes you want to work harder, be better. Like I said, I have so many precious memories of being on this show, and one of them is around I think it was the first Christmas, maybe the first or second Christmas, and I led a fitness class, and we worked out to fitness Christmas music. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed that.
Okay, ready, ladies? So arms up, and arms up, stretch it down, breathe. We're getting ready to do our workout, getting our mind in the game. Up again. Now jiggle those feet. Right, left. Here we go. March it out. Woo! Don't forget to breathe, and don't forget to smile.
Speaking of Christmas, another wonderful memory I have is at another Christmas, one of the parties that Kelly and Co. hosted. Rami and I sang a beautiful duet.
Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is the new bird, who sings a love song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland.
That memory is so precious to me, so dear to me. I really, really, hold that dear to my heart.
Walking in a winter wonderland.
I have another memory too. It was scary at the time, but now I can laugh about it. one time, just when I was about to go on air, my Braille display died. It wouldn't work. So I couldn't read my notes to share with the listeners. And so Kelly and Ramya were informed, and they helped me through the segment, and we got through it just fine. We did a really good job, and now I can laugh about it. But when it happened, it was pretty scary. I am so honored to have been a part of this show. I really appreciate the opportunity to share my knowledge with Kelly and Company's listeners, and I wish you all the very best for the future. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Chyvonne, for being a part of the show, the wisdom, the stuff that you brought to us. Ladies, I have to say, Amanda, the importance of fitness, we know that, and it never changes from when you're a kid all the way to you're a senior. Always stay active, which was Chyvonne's message. And how come we thought this was so important to bring to the show?
I love that. That's definitely something that I fully agree with, because I love running on the treadmill and working out. I also do some boxing, and it really just, it changes your mindset. Even whatever you do, if it's just like 10 minutes, it really changes the way that you approach the day, because you're fueled with all this energy and motivation to get through what it is you need, because you're staying healthy and active.
So true. So true. You feel so motivated. You feel so good after a long workout. And I can tell you, the gym is right downstairs. It's a couple floors down. And I feel so lazy sometimes. Like, I don't feel like getting dressed, working out. And I feel so like blah. But right when I push myself and after a workout, I'm like, oh, I feel so productive. I have so much energy for the day. It's really important for your mental health.
Nazreen, Amanda does boxing. Don't get on her bad side. So
Boxing.
what we're going to get into to do the workouts the ladies are talking about and the boxing is, as our music critic is here with us, is curating her summer playlist for us. And some of you probably use it out for working out. Let's see what she will be blasting by the pool this summer to settle back. Okay, what is a 2025 soundtrack, Amanda?
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I want to bring you albums of every different kind of genre and mood. So the first one I want to talk about is Addison Rae's latest self-titled album called Addison. Now, this album is really great to listen to if you're going on a girls' night out, or you're just hanging out throwing a summer house party or barbecue. Addison's got those vibes. Also, Tate McRae's album is really, really good too. I'm actually going to her concert this summer, so we'll be listening a lot to this latest one. Also, throwback Charlie XCX album Brat. Like, the minute I heard the first few notes of that album, I was like, this is the summer album, because there's so many good bops on there, like Talk Talk and like all those good stuff. And finally, I want to slow it down a little. I want to bring you vibes that you can chill and just relax to by the pool. So this first one is Charm by Clairo, which is a super relaxing, very chill vibe for pool or road trip vibes. And this final album, I want to talk about an EP of an artist I got to work with a lot at Met Radio, Merv Gotti Guitar Songs EP. And this was also a throwback from last year. And these songs are really great for just really taking in those quiet, gentle moments of the summer, relaxing by the stars or by the beach or pool, and you will be hooked. Some of my favorites on there are Krispy Kreme and Second Wind and Soju. And just really, once you listen to the EP, you'll see why it's such a chill summer vibe for me.
I can agree with you on that, but you had me at Tate McRae's album, So Close to What? So true.
Yes.
I wrote that.
I can't wait for the
really
concert.
hits, and it's such a summer vibe. Yeah, when is the concert?
August 19th at the Scotiabank Arena.
Jealous.
I love your variety here. This is great.
Yeah.
Like I know you're a music critic, but how eclectic, how wonderful.
And it's crazy because like this variety has only really been like, for years when I would listen to music, it was very much me focusing on like the mainstream pop, like Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran,
Hmm.
and then getting to work at Met Radio, like which is it's a community radio station out of Toronto Metropolitan University. I'm getting sent music with so many different genres and
Yes,
stuff
yes.
that like even a few years ago, I wouldn't know that I'd be an avid folk listener
Yeah.
or an avid like indie rock listener. And
Yeah.
like
I
getting to
felt that way when I
these
was at Radio
genres is so
Western.
great.
Not even as
Yes,
much as when I was
exactly.
at Fanshawe, but when I was a volunteer, and I wasn't even doing music, but I listened to the station a lot and got into so much of the variety of music at Radio Western.
Exactly. And I feel like, with these different genres, it also kind of changes the way that I look and analyze and create music because it really stretches your mind. Because lots of these indie artists are really doing some cool, like experimental stuff with their music to really like. I had this artist, I know I talked about her before on the show, Eliza Niemi. Her album Progress Bakery is all cello based, as that being the core instrument, but she incorporates it as like a indie like singer-songwriter album in a way that feels seamless. And I'm like, wow, like a classical instrument like that being used in a singer-songwriter type album, just mind-blowing.
It is mind blowing the fact that you really made your playlists diverse. So if you think about it, a few years back, listening to like indie, were you a really indie fan back then?
I definitely, there were definitely some artists that I really liked a few years ago, but I didn't really, dig into the indie scene as much as I have been like this past year that I've been with Met Radio. And it really
Hmm.
just gave me this whole new appreciation for, all these artists and
Exactly.
just the artists that I've gotten to meet and connect with and hear about their crafts through their various interviews. And I'm like, wow, there's so like each genre has something special, and to be able to learn about that is
Hmm.
always very inspiring for me.
But you put it like right there. Appreciation for new music is exactly it. My summer playlist consists of EDM music when we're taking long road trips and sitting by the beach. I don't know, EDM just really hits to hype you up for the summer, and that's always been it. When it comes to late night drives in the summer, I love listening to um, any of the weekend albums, to be honest. Any of
Oh,
them.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, that's great. Oh
They're
my goodness.
so good.
Um, we have a couple of moments, ladies. Amanda, anything else? You suggest listening to this stuff in order. Any particular reason why?
Yes, I feel like with these albums, like when I listen to albums now, I just love listening to start to finish because then you really get the whole story of like, what was the artist going through during that time?
Right.
What were these experiences that they're writing about? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely recommend listening to all these in order because you get a bigger picture. Because when you hear an album on shuffle, you hear, one or two songs, but you don't get the bigger context of like, okay, this is the story we're trying to tell here.
Yes. That's great. Plug the podcast too, very quickly, if you would.
I was featured on a podcast called A Chat with Heart by Christina Martin. And if you guys recall, I interviewed her about her work making audio description for her music videos. And she invited me on her podcast where she talks to a variety of people, if it's musicians or people in her life, about their experiences. So I got to talk
Nice.
about music, accessibility, and media. So this was a really fun chat. You can get it anywhere you listen to podcasts. It's called A Chat with Heart.
Thanks, Amanda Shekarchi, for coming on here once a month with music recommendations and fun discussions about our favorite tunes. It's been a blast. And Amanda, thank you so much for doing this, co-hosting, and really appreciate you along for the ride.
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to be part of the Kelly Co team for these past few months, and we've had a lot of fun. So thank
We
you.
have. Thank you. Good luck going forward with so much in your world. We always love to hear about it and look forward to when the paths cross again. And thank you again for the tremendous contribution to our show. Nazreen and I will be back on the program tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you can join us. Again, another pack show example. Let's visit with the Kelly and Company old timers. I want to see people say that to their face tomorrow. Bill Shackleton and Margaret Weldon joining us on tomorrow's show. The pair we call Bill and Margaret, who brought us the idea for The Buzz. We'll talk to you then. Fedora's off to you. Have a wonderful day. Parasport Nation is
Thanks
next.
for tuning in to Kelly and Company. Follow us on all social media. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more.